when we launched this business 10 years ago, we are very conscious that we are launching it marketer first. So most of the products that Nitin spoke about, are designed in a way that a marketer or a marketing operations team can make changes themselves. They can drag and drop content. There's a very intuitive UI that they can use. Easier said than done, so you would want to read up how to get it done. You would want to watch videos. So 4 years ago, we launched something called Experience League. Again, for marketer, how do I do this? How do I change this? How do I modify this? This thing is not working. Help me fix this. So those sort of questions. And there are MVPs there, our most valuable partners who go and regularly contribute to answer technical questions. Rich ecosystem of partners who help you build. So that's another one. And post-sales or customer success is something that we are obsessed with. So a big team to help you handhold in case you have issues in implementing it. So that's the short answer to your question, Anish.
Okay, so I've got a question for the panel. How many of you are using tools like Adobe, and how many of you are creating content using Canva? 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 Oh, come on, you don't need to lie. How many of you in the audience are using full-scale tools like that and otherwise just going to a free online site to create content for your sites? You got your work cut out for you, buddy.
To answer your question, Anish, everyone uses Adobe. We are also the ones who give you Acrobat or PDF. So the invoices definitely go in PDF. They don't go in any other way. So everyone uses Adobe. Yeah. Yes. Creative suite of products is what you spoke about. And today I think I'll stand here and walk. It's much better. But I'm going to nudge upon the other business of Adobe, which we call as the digital experience business, where we help customers build their own D2C channel, which includes product to manage content. So there are platforms to build your websites, products to conduct commerce, so you can do the whole commerce transactions, products to analyze customer behavior, data on website, app, etc., and to do email, SMS, the entire journey. So today's topic, coming to today's topic, creating wow moments for customers, right, in customer experience, and how do we do that? And I was just thinking aloud, what is a wow moment, right? What is really a wow moment, and how do we create it? And I thought wow moment is when customers are pleasantly surprised. And when customers get pleasantly surprised, creativity meets relevance, right? We are very creative in talking to customers, and it's absolutely relevant to them. And if you have to make creativity meet relevance, you need to marry art and science. The art of creating content, which is creativity, and the science is about data to find out what is relevant to customers, right? And that essentially leads to the wow moment. And in traditional businesses, this was done by the store managers or storekeepers. In the digital world, we have systems to manage it. And in today's panel, collectively, we'll try to unearth how do we create this wow moment, right? And as they say, experience is the currency in digital world for your brand, and the way to monetize that experience is commerce. So starting with the problem statement, I would want to go a rapid fire round across all of you to get your thoughts in not more than 2 minutes. Where do you see the roadblock of monetizing the experience currency? Is it the customer attention? Is it technology? It could be something else. I didn't mean to put words in your mouth. But very quickly, starting with you, Amritha, yeah.
Hello everyone, this is Amritha Gaddam. I'm the founder and CEO of the Tribe Concepts. So very interesting question. So I feel the biggest roadblock is changing customer expectations and trends. So I think that is the biggest. So yeah, there is customer retention, there are everything, but I think customer expectations and trends, they keep changing like day to day. So I think I personally feel like that is one of the biggest roadblock that we need to address, because when people ask me, like, what was it 2 years back? I can only tell what was a day before yesterday, because what happened 2 years back is not relevant today. So, that is with customers. So they are so different. They are so fragile. They are so, active. So that is what I feel that, their trends and expectations. So that for me is like the biggest thing that we need to understand and work on. Yes.
Well said. Managing the ever-changing customer expectation is the biggest roadblock.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi everybody, this is Akanksha. I'm the founder of A Tiny Mistake. We're into home decor. So when we talk about monetization, I feel monetization nowadays has become synonymous to commoditization. We talk about all the touch points that are there end up being somewhere transactional. So the emotional connect that somewhere a consumer has with your brand, somewhere that gets diluted. So what I feel is that this whole transactional nature of monetization, while may be very pleasant in the short run, you may get as many CTRs, you may get as many sales as you want, but in the long run, it will definitely dilute the experience or the emotional connect that you've created for the brand. Unless obviously you're a deal brand and you would like to offer yourself that way. So yeah, those are my 2 cents on this.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Saumya Kabra, founder of Confetti Gifts. We're into personal gifting and corporate gifting. What I view this aspect is, as I think everybody has a shiny object syndrome, in which we see a latest trend coming up and we push ourselves to actually get into this space without realizing that is it making sense to our brand, or is the trend that we are following, the investment that we're doing, the human resource that we're investing into it, will it make sense, will it give us the valuable results or not? And we, in the meanwhile, the process, we lose our strengths. So I believe focusing on which latest trends we're supposed to follow and which one to give up is challenging, but I think we should more focus on that.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aashish. I run this brand called myPAPERCLIP. It's a stationery and a notebooks brand. I think, if you map the customer journey overall, I think challenges are at every customer journey level. So I think if I have to summarize the overall challenges, there have to be 3. The customer is ever evolving, so how do we really, take the content that we create for a D2C brand like ours into commerce that's finally happening on the website? Once the commerce actually happens, how do we really have that experience from dispatch to delivery and the usability of the product? So quality of your product, ever evolving, again, ever changing materials that we work with, especially in the notebook industry. And the third is how to constantly beat the competition. So I think to encapsulate it, 3 challenges overall: content to commerce, how do you be above that? Second is the overall experience from dispatch to delivery, and third is how do you constantly beat your competition and be number 1 in.
Hello everyone, Anuva here. I'm the founder of Tiggle, which is India's first hot chocolate focused brand. And very interestingly said that experience is the new commerce. I'll answer this with a little comparison. If you see SaaS, in SaaS companies are pushing you always to try the product, because the time to value is little or lesser or equals to nothing. You push your target audience to try. They try your product, they like it good, they'll come back. Otherwise, they vanish. But in D2C, that is not the case. Somebody purchasing hot chocolate mix from our website today will probably receive it 2 days at least, if not more. And the period of 2 days is the most critical period, because at that time you need to keep your customer engaged, right? They order and probably they'll forget out of the impulsive buy which happened, and it will keep the packet in the kitchen, but they'll never make it. So keeping the customer engaged is is one of the most challenging thing, because in D2C you have to not only work on your product, but things which are beyond your product. And you do this when you are not a scalable, when you are starting by personalization. But the biggest challenge is how to do personalization at scale. So yes, I think the biggest roadblock is personalization at scale for this. Thank you.
Very well said, Anuva.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Abhijeet this side. I lead the e-commerce vertical for this company called Bureau ID. I think like talking about roadblocks to creating the wow moment as such. Doubling down on what Akanksha's point was on monetization piece, right? I would go in a step further and try to consider a problem like a trust problem in the first place. So I say a deficit of trust or lack of awareness of who the customer is coming to your store, like whether it's a good customer or a bad customer or a great customer for that matter, belonging to that top 1% cred user layer in the first place. So that's where I want to say the understanding of this customer beforehand lets you, drill down upon each problem from a data point of view. And that I think is like one of the missing pieces of puzzle that doesn't let you create a wow moment or proves a hindrance in the first place or customize in the first place. So.
Hi guys, I'm Kanishk, Arya. I'm CEO at SleepyCat. We are a mattress bedding pillow sleep solutions brand. So firstly, I'll address the question, is customer experience a really monetizable currency, right? So I believe that marketing the way we knew it is dead or dying. Nobody believes blindly in marketing anymore. You don't see an ad even with the biggest of celebrities and trust the brand. Even if something is being told to you from on all TV channels, but one friend tells you, I don't like this product, you will trust your friend. So that's the proof that customer experience is actually the real currency in today's world, because we do not take a decision without looking at what other customers are saying. Now the point about blocker, I believe both the enabler and the blocker is technology. One of the members spoke about personalization. I think that's the biggest tool. Customers come in, they're very clear with what their problem statement is. But the experience they get is what everybody else gets, right? We don't get to the point immediately because we don't know in most cases. That's where technology has to play a role. But I think while in theory, there are a lot of tools that exist, but their availability off the shelf, ease of sort of the effort required and the sort of money investment required to be delivering that personalized experience, I think is still a little far away. And that's why I think it's also the blocker today.
Hi, I'm Sreejith, co-founder at True Elements. So, all of the panelists have given 1 month snippet of what I have. For example, our website can give you a personalized muesli. You can decide what grain need to go, what fruit need to go, what seed need to go, and we do that at scale, right? But are we solving or are we creating real wow moment? Yeah, I'll come to the answer. Second point was trust. Like we are the first company where we are making trust possible through traceability of each of our ingredient in each product from farm to fork. You scan the QR code, we'll give you where was it harvested, the information from there. But the challenge we face is now the customers are spoiled for choice. And when it comes to service, now for example, people on another world, now customers are getting a Porsche buying experience in a nano showroom. Okay, that's what is happening because of huge influx of funds and huge pressure to acquire consumers. Everybody is going over the top in acquiring consumers and not clearly looking at the bottom line. So in real world, people are right now used to buying a nano in a Porsche kind of a service experience. Okay, and that's expectation, right? Can all of us, if there is food, there is pet food, there is stationery, all of us have a GP to match that experience? I don't know. That is the biggest challenge, right? Now, consumer is, I don't know, is a nano consumer or is a Porsche consumer, but experience is, that's the biggest challenge.
Thanks, Sreejith. I think if I have to summarize what we heard from the panel, one is managing customer expectations. That changes, that evolves very quickly. Doing anything at scale, I think we heard personalization, which is showing relevant stuff on the website, but how do we scale it? How do we make it really personal to everyone? managing not only just the buying experience, but also logistics and the post-sales experience. And then technology, right? Technology being an enabler as well as technology being a limitation is what we heard. So taking that thread forward, I'll ask my next question. Creating wow moments is great, but they also have to be very shoppable, right? So making every experience shoppable is today the endeavor of brands. And in that aspect, I would want to ask probably some of you, starting with you, Aashish, what do you think about your strategy of making an experience shoppable, right? And just to put some context on it, one is giving content, then making that content relevant is experience, and presenting it in a way that customer is tempted to buy is what we are talking about, making experience shoppable, right? I'm showing you a video. Can I add the product right within the video to the cart, right? Or do I have to go to some other page to add it to the cart? I mean, video is an experience, but making it shoppable is having the buying facility within the video. I think that's what I wanted to say when I say making every experience shoppable. So what do you, Aashish?
So it's very important. This word in this question, the word experience is extremely important. So, first you need to understand what do you define as experience for the final customer. For a brand like ours, we are again in notebooks and stationery and all of that. So and when we talk about this in the D2C space, so we as a brand are across 4 channels. We are doing D2C, we are doing marketplaces, we are in the retail sector in about 400 stores, and then we are across, we do a lot of customization for corporates, and we work with about 1,000 corporates a year. Now, to put this into perspective, how is the experience defined specifically to D2C? It starts from, you generating ads or, in the case of, you create impulse on Facebook or Instagram, or you have intent marketing going on Google. So that's your first step, where you're trying to basically tell the customer about your product. For us, how we tackle this particular experience is instead of just doing marketing about the product itself, we try to create content around lifestyle, or which is more relatable to the use of the product. So we're not actually going ahead and selling, okay, XYZ product, here are the features, shop now on our website. That's a typical way most of the D2C brands are looking at the space. For a brand like ours and how we've pivoted, with whatever's happening with Facebook, Apple, and all of that, we're trying to create more relatable content, more content that creates and links with your experience. And then say, okay, this is the product overall. So the journey starts there. Once the person comes on the website, there is a bunch of stuff that brands like ours can do, and that relates to how do you map the customer journey within translating this content into commerce overall, converting the customer. And then there are multiple matrices and jargon we've been hearing since morning. It's about how do you get most customers traffic, have the CTRs, how do you reduce CPMs, finally the customer adding it to the cart and shopping. And there are challenges around this, and how do you create a wow factor within this is a tough challenge for every brand, because it's ever changing. What we're doing today, probably a month later will be completely different. Within this segment, how is your UI UX? How, in the other session in the next room I was sitting, and some people were talking about how do you actually use technology to say, okay, if I'm looking at a particular product on my website, and if I scroll down and I'm seeing 4 products on the screen, if I scroll down or click on one product, how do I see similar products? And how's technology working for you, creating that wow factor within the UI UX of that particular website? Once that commerce happens, so content to commerce happens, and now the shipment comes through. How are you communicating to the customer to say your product's been shipped, it's been reaching a so-and-so date, and when the product finally reaches, how's the customer experience there? When the product opens up, or the package opens, how are you creating your brand story around it, and then further creating the post-sales channel, repeat customer rates, extremely important in today's day and age. So for a brand like ours, content creating more relatable content. That's how we're creating a little bit of wow factor there. On the UI UX front, we're trying to implement and new technologies to create that factor within our website to make it more relatable again. And at the end, I think the quality tops up everything. So you'll have your first customers coming in from the kind of content you create, but a repeat customer is only going to come in one and foremost if your quality is superior, if you are giving the right product at the right price, and they're happy with that experience, right? And once all of this happens, you have the repeat customer in. How do you constantly beat your competition to complete that journey through and through, month on month, customer by customer? And that's where I think the wow factor for a company and for the customer kind of comes together and plays together.
Thanks, Aashish. Kanishk, if I may ask you to share your thoughts.
Sure. So, when I look at every experience being shoppable, right? The way I would look at it is how does every interaction add value for the customer and also gives us an opportunity to make a sale, right? When the customer is actually engaged with us. So the way I would divide this is, for our business, we're a D2C brand. One level is all your, what we call discovery content, or what we call useful discovery content for customers, which has nothing to do with the brand. For example, a lot of people go on YouTube, go on Google and search for what sort of a mattress should I sleep on, right? Mattresses have existed for I don't know how many thousands of years in some shape or form, but it's still a problem that people have, that we don't know what to use, we don't know what pillow to use. So there is enormous amount of content on the internet talking about what is relevant for you. So that becomes one space for us to, one, educate the customer and also provide them the opportunity to choose a product that will solve the problem that they searched for, right? That becomes a shoppable experience. You, of course, have the entire advertising journey, which is an experience of exposing the brand to the customer and being shoppable, which I won't delve into because that is something that everybody does, right? But what are other things that people do? Now, once a purchase is already made, even then, when every interaction we have with the customer, be it talking about where their product is, has it reached them, asking them for the review of the product, following up how the usage of the product is going. For us, all of those are shoppable experiences because we expose them to what else will be useful for them basis the information that we have about the customer now, basis their behavior on our website. Another thing that we find extremely useful from a shoppable experience perspective is that even when customers go and talk about their experiences of the product and the brand, even those are shoppable experiences for other customers. Because that is another opportunity for that product to be tagged, for that product to be made available to new customers. It's not just one phrase or one review lost among the thousands. It's an opportunity to be shoppable for another customer as well, right? Even today, a lot of people talk about influencer marketing. The way we look at it is, one, you have an influencer who people want to watch, engage with because they like their content. Second, you have a topic that the influencer is covering which is of relevance to them. Maybe they're covering something about how they style their bedroom. Maybe they're covering about what is the sleep routine. And the third, the shoppable part of it is, you can immediately buy and have that experience yourself because that's available right there with all the products and details about how you can make that real, right? So almost every interaction can be made shoppable, and there is always this dichotomy in the market about whether every experience should be for sale or not, whether you're being too salesy or not, right? I think it's okay. People are mature enough. As long as the experience is great or the content is great, if you're giving them also the opportunity to make it live in their own lives by that experience, I think I'd rather have that than somebody have to go and search and find out how to make that a reality for themselves. Thank you.
Thanks, Kanishk. Saumya, your thoughts?
I think I believe in less is more when it comes to shoppable experiences. I feel overcluttering with content and probably massively putting out a lot of information in front of people might confuse them and make a lot of decision-making points that, I mean, if they're confused, they just leave out from the website. So whatever information that we're providing to all people over the website, they should be very focused on what you're providing, what product quality are you giving, rather than making them choose from different options or probably giving them many that they're confused and they probably leave out. So I think keeping your content simple yet relatable, of course, as mentioned by Aashish, it's really important to have it relatable, but yet keeping it simple and understandable. They should comprehend what we're trying to say. Communication should be very transparent. That's probably, I think, the major key, what I feel should be there in content. And of course, visually what you're trying to speak to people is also very important. People these days focus on social media so much. We need to make sure whatever we're presenting is good quality image. People are trying to understand what sort of exact products, the description of products is clearly mentioned so that there's no confusion or there's no, the clarity is pretty much there, that they're not confused on should they buy or should they not.
Thanks. I think what we heard is how do we create the content, how do we showcase it to the customer, and how do we use it strategically at different buying phases. I think that's what makes our experiences more shoppable. Now technology plays a very big part in all of this, specifically when it comes to D2C and your own channel. So my next question, which is where I'm leading to is, how can technology help you create those wow moments? Right? And I may start with you, Anuva. Anuva, sorry.
So I think technology actually plays one of the most important role, specifically when it comes to Tiggle in creating all these wow moments. There are some simple things, right? Like email marketing. How we do it is when the customer places the order, obviously they receive an email and all these updates that, the order is placed successfully and all of those things. But as I mentioned in my previous answer, that engaging the customer for those 2 to 4 days till the time the product is not delivered is the hardest thing. So a couple of things how technology can help is setting up the right triggers. For instance, when the customer's order is picked by the delivery agent, what is the right trigger or the right message which we can send to the customer at that moment, which keeps that interest of the customer in the brand. So in our case, it's our story. Tiggle started from the streets of Delhi, where a 21-year-old girl used to sell hot chocolate to validate the product. Now this is a engaging enough story which makes sense to be sent at that moment to keep that engaging factor alive. When the customer is about to receive the order in the next 2 hours, they're out to be dispatched. I think sending them recipes, how to make the best hot chocolate. Sending that recipe makes sense to engage the customer, and that's how technology helps me set the right triggers at the right time. On the same hand, we did this very interesting thing, and I find worth sharing it. We launched this platform called vote.thetiggle.com. So this is one of the platforms where the customers or the community of this brand comes together, super open platform, comes together and share the ideas for what Tiggle should work next. And it's an open-ended voting platform. Now, all of these people who are alive on this platform are old customers. Very interestingly, they feel that it's their own brand and they are getting to share their views and ideas which are getting acceptable by the brand. Again, one of the things, we could have not imagined doing this at scale without the help of the technology. So yes, that's how I think plays a massive role in Tiggle.
Thanks. I think technology for engagement is really working for Tiggle. Akanksha, if I have to ask you.
So I think it becomes a very obvious thing that none of us today can function without tech, especially when you're selling online. So one place where it has really helped us, like we're into home decor, So, like, imagine you're walking into an offline store. Now, there's a certain decor, there are certain products there are certain products that aren't there. Now, I'm like dumbing it down here, but like, obviously, in terms of online sales, this allows us to put customers into different buckets. It allows us to personalize the experience that each consumer is going to have. If you're looking at tables, that's what you get to see. If you're looking for gifting options, that's what you get to see. You don't get to see a lot of, as you said, irrelevant information that's going to confuse you, and you might not be able to take the call to buy or not buy then. One more way where we also try to engage our consumers is by building a community. Today, if we show that, okay, these are things that you can display in this manner, it helps them also imagine how that product is going to look in their house. So today, we would like to pamper our consumers. We like them to think that we are doing some work for them by giving them ideas as to what they can do, how they can arrange a particular product. We can arrange calls with interior designers and all, and set up meetings to show, just to get a certain level of engagement for loyal customers. Now, these things, tech helps us segregate that these are the customers that we would like to concentrate on and put in that much effort and acquire them. So this entire thing, like broadly about consumers, segregation and segmentation, I mean, I find it really exciting that I'm sure over time we'll be able to do this in a much more personalized way for each and every consumer, instead of dividing them by age bracket or demographics, etc. So yeah.
Thanks. I think segmentation, personalization is something I take from you. Abhijeet, if I have to get a technologist perspective on this, what do you think?
Thank you so much, Soumitra, for that. So especially, I think we talked about segmentation, and we also talked about how personalization plays a role, and then engaging the client as well. I think almost everyone here on this podium, they would have acknowledged that at the end of the day, the user has to complete the transaction online, right? And that brings us to a very pivotal point in the consumer journey, that is the checkout side of things. Now, when you talk about checkout, right, everything says, okay, repeat customer, fast checkout, repeat customer, fast checkout. But that won't work in your case because they're buying a mattress. They have to be very cognitively aware. So as I say, like, technology cannot be done just for the sake of it. It has to be stitched with your product narrative, stitched with what is relevant for you, what is not relevant for you. Similarly, in this regard, checkout need not always be fast. Sometimes you have to add frictions so that people are aware of what they're buying. You have to add pivotal data points so that they're aware of what they're doing and they're not feeling conscious about it. And especially for repeat customer who have already shown your faith in the brand for once, is there a way where we can, bring a combination of these two, trust, at the same time, comfort in this entire process? So that's my 2 cents especially. And while working with a bunch of brands in this category, one of the key things that we realized was a majority of the times, the repeat users used to come to the site but couldn't complete the checkout again, primarily was because they didn't feel respected enough after a point. So ensuring that this red carpet experience of engagement is stitched right to the point where doing a checkout, right to the point where rewards are kept hidden so that there is a small gamification in place. So I believe those 3-4 factors are something that can enable to unlock really good quality of customers and experience altogether.
Yeah, thanks, Abhijeet. And interesting discussion. Halfway through, we so far discussed about what makes WoW experiences, what are the roadblocks in creating them, how technology can help, and all great, right? We create WoW experiences, customer comes and purchase, and that's where we want the next step, which is repeat purchases. So my next question that I'm alluding to is, what makes customer come back, right? What are those key factors that a D2C founder should absolutely consider when it comes to making customer come back again and again? So much so, to borrow a phrase, how do we create habit-forming products, right? How do you make customer come back again and again? And Sreejith, if I may request you to share your thoughts.
Yeah, so repeat purchase is key in the current times, and it's more relevant because the cost of performance marketing and the only winner in last 1.5 years is the biggies. Everybody know who that biggies are, right? So to make us win, we obviously need more winners in the repeat. But repeat is 90% product and 10% rest, all we are talking about. right? Now, I think that's one place where a lot of DTC players are getting missed, I believe, okay? Because a lot of peers are over-indexing on the rest 10 and forgetting the 90. So 90 is product and rest 10 is important, but again, rest 10 changes depends upon who the consumer is. For example, in my website, a person who came, let's say, 2 years back, pre-pandemic, and the same person coming now is not the same, right? So I cannot treat the same consumer the way the website treated the consumer 2 years back. Probably marriage would have happened, so the lifestyle would have changed, the choice of food would have changed, and right now, post-pandemic, life, health objective would have changed. So how do we change our landing page for that person accordingly? We, as of now, have limitations in doing that. So how do we enable the person to filter and come to the place and make that transition easier? That would make sure that repeat is not with a lot of friction. But now there's a new googly, which is the customer. We don't know if the customer is a 10-minute expecting customer, or is it a 1-day waiting customer, or is it 2-day waiting customer, or is it fine to go and make in India, go to a Kirana buy? I don't know who the person is, right? Now one more filter, right? So how do we get all these filters addressed with minimum interference is what would get us the best repeat. Everybody is playing different games with at different stages. So that's what my snippet would be.
Absolutely great point, Sreejith. And I don't think so there is a silver bullet here, right? Whether he's a 10-minute customer or a 1-day customer. I think the only way to do this is to constantly experiment, right? Try to figure out what is working from whom, give different experiences, weed out the losing experiences, promote winning experiences. So this whole concept of constantly testing experiences, rolling out new ones, learning from them, and building on top is the way to go.
So there, I think as DTC, we need to have an omni-channel from day one. Everybody only talks about DTC in the beginning and then comes to omni-channel. But I'll tell you classic case. Now in Bareilly, a new retail guy is closing the pricing of the product after looking what is the cred price, right? That's the world we live in, right? So, and the day we are doing a cred drop, the traffic in Amazon goes up not to buy, to see how is the review of the product, right? That's the world we live in. So yeah, so that's the challenge.
Thanks, Sreejith. Amritha, your thought?
I think the main thing, like I totally agree, it's absolutely the product. So product plays a major role in repeat customer purchase. But along with that, like the entire experience the customer is going through during ordering the product to finally receiving the product. So right from the experience of the website, online or offline, right from how they feel the product is, how the entire experience of shopping it is, to the delivery, how quickly the product has been delivered to them, what is the delivery time. So the entire thing is experience altogether, because there are customers who come and tell us, like, you know, I have seen the difference. So we are a skincare brand, so they say we have seen the product. I mean, there are times that more than customers saying that, you know, about the experience of the product, they say that I'm extremely happy I received the product in 1 day. So, you know, so everything matters in getting the customer back. Because one thing I understand is it's ease of how easy to get the product, how is the product, how available is the product. That is also very important, because especially in skincare, what I see is people have, like, there are a lot of brands in the market, and suddenly there are some brands in hype, and suddenly they see that these products are not available, especially with international products that coming in. Like right now, there's a lot of Korean brands and everything coming in Indian markets, and people, they like it, but they don't find it available again. So availability is also, again, a very important thing. So an entire experience from ease to availability to product, I mean, product being the major thing, I feel is what gets the customer back. Yes.
Thanks, I think great responses. What we are hearing is product being the major factor that gets customer back. Right? And in a D2C channel, the way customer experiences the product is through the platform, right? It's through technology. So leading to this is my next question. There's so much of technology available, right? And technology is one sector where you have things available for free, right? There are things you can use for free to the highest paid. There is literally at every price point so much technology available. Yet, right? Yet in your opinion, what are those 2-3 things you find missing in today's technology platform? Right? You wish you had it. It would make things easier for you. Maybe you would have done things faster. So that's my next question. And Aashish, if I may ask you to take a stab at it.
So again, for a brand like ours, we, as I said in my last comment, we are across 4 channels. We are not just D2C. D2C is one side, which contributes to about 20% of our business. Another 20% comes from marketplaces. About 30% comes from the retail side, and another 30 comes from the corporate customizations that we work with companies. Now, in this entire this thing, if 20% of my business is coming from D2C, I own customer data for that. So people coming on my website, buying from my website, I'll have email addresses, reach out, this, that, 1,000 matrices around that, I have already. 80% of my market, I don't have customer data. So what we're trying to do this year is try to build a tech layer on our platform itself, on the product itself. So if the product is sold anywhere, immaterial of the medium is sold, and we, being an omni-channel brand, if it's sold from Amazon, Flipkart, or any other retail store, if you incentivize this particular customer using your product to come back with some tech layer on the platform itself and capture that consumer data and feed it into your cycle of so many things that Shopify or with Wixo and so many plugins you can do. I think that's where the key lies for us, and I wish that we did it faster, earlier, and this is something that we are implementing, and it's resonating with a lot of D2C brands that I speak with. So that's a pertinent challenge for a omni-channel brand, not just D2C. So that's my particular challenge in my own company. So that's what we are doing.
Yeah. Thanks. Akanksha, if I may request you to, your technology challenge.
No, so data definitely, across channels, it becomes definitely very, very difficult to figure what actually prompted the sale. One other thing that I feel is extremely important to know is that right now we know that sales happen because of certain reasons, but we can't always attribute weightages to them. That why exactly, like if suppose my product is sustainable, then what percentage of reason that the customer actually bought the product was that. So that becomes important. One more thing for a brand like ours, again selling on marketplaces, online, offline, everything, is to keep the consumer experience constant. Like as we see about data, the consumer experience bit also from discovery to sale. On each channel, it's going to be different. So having a consistent communication strategy and consistent strategies that we operate to get a consumer to buy becomes very difficult. We need to then plan it channel-wise instead of having an overarching strategy that can conform to all of them. So that's one thing that we...
Thanks, I think great response. And what I'm hearing is customer data, right? How do I capture it? How do I manage it? How do I use it to attribute? How do I use it to segment customers, understand their behavior? Yeah, some of the problems that we solve for our customers at Adobe. Glad to have a conversation. But moving on, Kanishk, if I may ask you, on the technology challenges you feel on your platform today?
So apart from the omni-channel sort of data source, I think another challenge is the different systems that are storing data across the consumer life journey, they don't talk to each other, or they don't talk to each other seamlessly. For example, when a customer comes to the website, there is some indicators from the channel that the customer has come. Then they've shown certain intent on the website. For example, we also capture data about what sort of sleep challenge they're facing and therefore what is relevant for them. Then it comes into their purchase journey. Then their whole delivery journey where they may have a delay, they may have reached out to us for some issues, they may have bought us once or twice or 3 times. Now, all of this data is in different systems, right? But when they come to the website, we don't know. We treat them just the same way, right? While that is very useful information, either for making it a shoppable experience or for recognizing to the customer that, yes, we understand this has happened with you, right? And we are solving this problem for you. Or for our agent to know, our customer experience team to know that this is how this customer needs to be dealt with, right? So all this data, they're all sort of disconnected to a large extent. If technology can sort of bring it together in a way which is useful, and not just to say that, okay, we have all this data, but we don't know what to do with it, right? That I think can be a big sort of solve to deliver an experience which is truly wow. So,
no, great answer, Kanishk. And let me make it a little more complex, guys. There's customer data, but there's known customer data. So there's email addresses and phone numbers, and they are across systems. And then there's unknown customer data, right? Anonymously coming to the website, browsing 3 times in a week, yet I don't know. And to make it further complicated, it could be the same person logging from his desktop in office, and while going back in his car, checking out the website on his mobile phone. How do I know the 2 of them are same? Yeah, so there are multiple dimensions, and thanks for highlighting those. Anuva, if I may ask you on technology challenges.
I think it is very well covered, but this one more which I can think of is emails, if you see, are people still open emails, but only till an extent, and our customers are living on Instagram or WhatsApp. But WhatsApp does not allow you to send marketing-related emails or marketing-related messages. And on the Instagram as well, it's a one-way communication. The brand is communicating. Even if you keep saying that Instagram is a community, it is not really a community, because what is a community? Where there's a two-way communication happening. So I always think about it that community is actually the future of commerce. But right now there's no platform which are actually helping us build communities, because there's only one-way communication happening. Either the customer is coming with their reviews and feedback, or you are going with your content, which is always flowing. So this two-way communication is something which I think very rare companies will be able to crack, and all those who will end up cracking the community angle of building a D2C company will probably fly high.
Thanks, Anuva. I think great answer. Abhijeet, you want to add?
Oh yeah, I think the question itself, like I think everyone reiterated the same point, that too many tools, like it's just too fragmented. The data is not available. I'll give an anecdotal example, like how actually it impacts it. So I don't know how many of you would be aware, but there are a couple of pin codes in West Bengal. If you try to deliver a good there, it will just come back to you. Or worse, it will never come back to you, nor the money will come back to you. So that's like, if you have your people who are getting targeted via your marketing tool, whether you're using XYZ, Clever Tap, Web Engage for targeting those customers, they're going deep down into a supply chain, finally committing an RTO or some kind of a fraud or some kind of a damage to your brand. And then the same customer gets targeted again because that feedback information is not flowing again. So this kind of gap, these kind of challenges are like very, very real. And this is the reason is because the data that's targeting for the marketing purpose is creating cohorts versus the supply chain data versus the operational data versus the final feedback data that's coming in. There is no one unified view. There's no one unified tool solving that in the first place. So yeah, too many tools is like a way to summarize the problem. But at the same time, there's ample opportunity for this gap to be bridged and something to be built here for the first.
Great point, Abhijeet, and you mentioned some products that customers use, and that could be one of the reasons the products come back. If you use Adobe products, they don't come back. So, yeah, we started with rapid fire last 10 minutes. I'll go to a rapid fire round again, starting with you, Sreejith. One area where you would want to make technology investments to create wow moments, and probably after you, Kanishk, and will.
Yeah, so taking cue from Abhijeet, extending to it further. Now, the challenge as he has put in is on the supply chain side as well as at the order generation side. Now, when a consumer is coming, I don't know whether we are creating customized landing page with right product on the basis of past purchase and then content and all those. Okay. Now, but that is not perfect, because end of the day it's an evolving, but the consumer is evolving. Okay. So, but is there a way we can get that knowledge and make it available for him before he goes and filters and asks for what exactly am I going to be enthused and get buying? One, at the purchase side. Second, as I've told you earlier, I don't know what kind of consumer the person is, and can I give the consumer information that this product you have chosen, now you want it in 10 minutes, this batch number, this fresh is available in this place. Can we have that population of omni-channel all? Because I'm an omni-channel brand. Can we have the consumer decide on the basis of his either freshness of product or urgency, this is what available hereby, can that be shown? As of now, that's not available and in the right form. So that would be one tech we would want to build.
Yeah, so personalization would be your investment when it comes to
servicing
creating
side.
WoW. Yes, thanks. Kanishk, up to you.
So we have, I have 3 areas that we are sort of looking to invest in and already have started. First is supply chain. We want to reduce the need for human intervention in any sort of kind of fulfillment return processes. We have realized that maximum amount of bad experiences were human errors, and we want to minimize it as much as possible using technology. Second area is customer experience, where we already invest in CRM systems, but we want to take it to the next level where we want customers to be able to talk to us on video with our retail experts talking from our stores, where customers can actually look at what sort of products we have, and we want to make it as seamless as just click of a button on a website, right? And the third area would be marketing automation. I think especially with the point you mentioned about we don't know who's coming from where, the final optimization I think would come from marketing automation. So those are the 3 areas that we'll be investing in.
Thanks, Kanishk. Abhijeet, I'll skip you. Anuva, areas where you would make technology investments.
So I think I have a little different take on this. Obviously, customer experience in D2C starts from way before the customer purchases your product till he or she purchases your product and goes till like repeat and your LTVs and everything. And I think every company, young or old or experienced in D2C, will keep investing because technology will come and go. Tools like Klaviyo, your ShipRocket Engage is one of the tools, by the way, which we use very actively. These tools will keep coming and they'll keep going. However, at this stage, at least where we are right now, something which is of more importance, which needs to be invested, is on the brand voice and the brand tone. If we or any company cracks that well in the initial few years of existence, because it keeps evolving, technology is something which can be sorted, whether you're talking to a customer, sharing how they like your product, to asking them to please purchase your product. So yeah, the brand tone and the brand voice is where we are investing. Thank you.
Thanks, Anuva. Aashish.
So for our brand specifically, I'll reserve my comments only to our brand, where we're planning to invest. So we serve about 10 lakh people a year. 10 lakh customers use our notebooks on a yearly basis. Now, 3 technology investments we are planning this year. One is to make a tech layer on all products that are sold outside of our D2C channel, which I covered last. The second is hyper-focused marketing towards the customers. And I think as D2C founders, we, of course, this is a business and we're trying to get more and more customers. But at the end of the day, I think we wear a hat of responsibility, which says, let's not bombard customers with everything. You know, if you've bought a product in last session, some gentleman did mention that, you know, there's a gentleman from Bharat Petroleum. And he's like, you know, I bought this product. I've already purchased it. I'm still getting ads all over the place. You know, give me a break for at least 5 days, you know. So how do you actually go into hyper-focused marketing? In our case, a specific example is, we make this product called an organizer. Right? So it's a sleeve to a notebook, and the notebook comes within. We've seen that within 4 months, the inside notebook is consumed, and the customer comes in and reorders that notebook, or should be pushed towards ordering that particular notebook as a refill. So how do you actually do hyper-focused marketing is the second this thing of investment. My third is a very, very long term. It's a very wishful thinking that you know, I have. So our product is very repeat purchase, right? You use a notebook, you like it, you come back to us again. Our repeat customer rates are about 30 to 40%. Now, typically what's happening is, if you're customer A, you bought a product, you liked it, you come back and buy the exact same product in the exact same color, in the exact same configuration. So this is a old/new concept of having some sort of IoT on it. So Internet of Things built into the product itself, intelligent enough that if your notebook is on the last page, how does it reorder yourself? And that's one concept. I think Tide in the US was trying to experiment. So if you use Tide as a washing powder, and you are running out of detergent, you don't have to really go ahead and order it again. The device itself is intelligent for it to have APIs with marketplaces and order it again. So the first two, we are doing short-term investments. This third one is a more long-term wishful thinking that, let's see.
Thanks, Aashish. Saumya, as you speak, so marketing automation, personalization, frequency capping, recency capping, right, in advertisements, brand awareness are some of the investments we heard. Your thoughts?
Right. I believe coming from a gifting industry, I think everybody can relate to this, that you don't always know what to gift. There's always a confusing point. What do I gift now? What do I gift for this occasion? What do I gift to this person who I have this relationship with? So this confusing point needs an answer. There should be a bot probably, which I am working on that at the moment, in which a person coming on the website just specifying which relationship that they want a box for, or which occasion they want a product for, they actually are defined that this is the best suitable product for you. Because I think this is a very big challenge even till date I face about what am I supposed to give to that person. Again, aligned to this thought, there is a logistic issue, in which if you're having a personalized gift, if there's a thoughtful gift which requires certain tat to be completed or tat to be done, then gifting is time sensitive. Now, if I want a gift by evening because I apparently just got up in the morning and remembered I'm supposed to gift this person, I don't know how to get a thoughtful gift which is well curated. Cakes and flowers for sure, but not a thoughtful gift that I would like to gift a person close to me. So I think that sort of logistic control with personalization and knowing what to gift to a person in multiple dimensions is something that I would feel is to be worked upon.
Thanks. I think assisted selling, Kanishk also mentioned, using technology for assisted selling, right? How you can help customer purchase. Akanksha, over to you.
So for us specifically, when we talk about the premium luxury furniture segment, if we have advancements in computer vision and augmented reality, it obviously allows you to view products within your settings and judge whether they look good or not. But even I have this really far-fetched thing. I've always felt that, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but advertising is intrusive. Today, if we are looking at a premium experience, whether it be in terms of media consumption or in any other way, we pay extra not to see ads. So if there is any sort of tool or any sort of strategy that can be adopted to not make it intrusive and to make it more welcoming, and somebody is not paying not to see your ad, that would be quite aspirational, I feel. So, yeah.
Thanks. Great answer. Amritha, over to you.
I think for our category of products, what I feel in skincare, what actually is missing is the feel of the product. So that the texture, how it actually looks, how it actually feels, how does it look on their skin, So I think we need a lot of advancement in that from a technology aspect. So because I think that is a major miss. Why people still feel that, okay, let me go to an offline store and check how this product would be, how would it feel, So, and these are some of the things I feel that in our category of products, I think this is actually a big miss. And I feel there needs a technological improvements in this space in what ways possible, so we can fix this and then we are done. So everything has been good for a skincare brand to go forward. So yeah.
Thanks, Amritha. And with that, we are towards the end of our panel discussion. We started the journey with identifying what are the challenges in delivering a WoW experiences, what makes experiences shoppable, what are the key factors that make customer come back, how technology can help us engage better with customers, and what are technology investments across multiple brands. And while there are multiple technology options, the problems that we spoke about, especially personalization, understanding customers, stitching customer data together, creating a virtual shopping experience, making customers feel the product using IoT or using assisted selling. I think these are very interesting areas, and Happy to share that we at Adobe work with customers to do that. And with that, I would want to conclude this conversation. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Happy to give back 16 seconds to everyone.